Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Russell Matthews here, and if you've been following the channel, you'll know that since yesterday when the budget was released, I've been combing through that 700 plus page document looking for information that could be important to you. So in this video, we're going to go into some new supports, a $500 one-time payment that could go to some seniors, as well as a potential OAS boost to old age security, and that's again going just to some seniors. It's a little bit controversial, as well as a potential new disability benefit, but when that benefit's going to come around, we just don't know at this point. But I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about here and what they've said about this potential new benefit going forward. So we're going to give you all the information of what's inside the budget related to these two topics. And of course, if you haven't already done so, check out the link in the description where you can find a coupon code for 50% off the Money Mastery Canada program, as well as links to open up investment accounts to take your wealth into your own hands, which is just so important these days. All right, let's dive into this information that's all inside of this 2021 budget. So based on what's been talked about since this budget was released, this is one of the most controversial parts of the budget. So many people in the House of Commons have been pretty upset with the way that this is rolled out, but let me get into the details here. And it's a little bit ironic to start here because they say Section 7.2, an economic recovery that includes everyone, but then they immediately go on to say increasing old age security for Canadians 75 and over. Now, this is the most controversial bit because it seems that the Liberal government is really only going to support seniors who are older than 75, largely leaving out people in that gap range of 65 to 75 years old. Now, the Bloc Québécois have been especially heavily pushing for this increase to be applied all the way until 65. We're going to get into exactly what this increase looks like, what the support looks like, but I just want to get you updated on what's been happening as of today in the House of Commons. The Bloc Québécois actually proposed an amendment to this budget that would allow for this to be given to people who are above the age of 65 and are on OAS and also may receive this other one-time payment, but it's going to remain to be seen until we can find out later in the House of Commons what's actually going to happen here. Are they going to submit to the Bloc Québécois requests and lower this age? We've got to wait and see. But let's get a little bit deeper into exactly what they've written here about support for seniors, and then we're going to get into that potential new disability benefit. But let's first start with this: increasing old age security for Canadians 75 and older. During the pandemic, many seniors have faced economic challenges as they took on extra costs to stay safe. Additionally, many seniors are living longer and they rely on monthly benefits, and after a lifetime of hard work, they deserve a secure and dignified retirement. That is why the government's committed to increasing OAS benefits for seniors age 75 and older. Again, only 75 and older. The criticism is you're creating multiple different classes of seniors. Is that really what we want to do? That's for you to decide and for me to report on today. They make some bullet points here saying Budget 2021 proposes to meet the immediate needs of this group of seniors by providing a one-time payment of $500 in August 2021 to OAS pensioners who will be 75 or over as of June 22nd. So even if you're not 75 as of yet, as long as you're 75 as of June 2022, I said June 22nd, June 2022, you will be eligible for this one-time support of $500 in August 2021. Now, critics have pointed out like, hey, that's a little bit of a weird timing. Why are you choosing August 2021 to give out this one-time payment after not doing so since the very beginning of the pandemic when there was a similar support? Critics are saying, hey, maybe this is when the election is going to be. Is this vote buying? This is what some of the critics to the Liberal government have said. The Liberals just say, hey, we just want to support seniors. The next bullet point here says Budget 2021 then proposes to introduce legislation to increase regular OAS payments for pensioners 75 and older by 10% on an ongoing basis as of July 2022. So again, this is taking effect as of a year from now, a year from this July. And this would increase these benefits for approximately 3.3 million seniors, adding benefits of $766 to full pensioners in the first year and indexed to inflation going forward. So it's going to go up around 2% each year because they use the CPI, Consumer Price Index data, and the Bank of Canada generally targets 2% and tries to keep inflation at 2%. So you'll see a 2% rise there every single year in the first year and indexed to inflation going forward, as I said. This would give seniors more financial security later in life, particularly at the time when they face increased care expenses and greater risk of running out of savings. So these are the two supports that they're proposing for seniors. And again, the controversy lies all inside of the fact that they're not giving it to seniors between the ages of 65 and 75. The Bloc Québécois, like I said, are really pushing for that age to be lowered, but that would also cause a lot more spending from the government. Who knows what parties would support that? It would be an additional billions of dollars to support this increased benefit. So it'll be interesting to watch what actually takes place there. Stay tuned to the channel because I'll let you know if anything changes. The next thing we're going to talk about is a potential new disability benefit right here in Canada. Now, many people and experts have been saying, hey, people with disabilities have been largely falling through the cracks during this pandemic. Many people haven't been able to receive benefits like the CRB, and disability payments, depending on your province that you're in, can be a lot lower than the CERB and the CRB that many other people were able to receive throughout the pandemic. Now, this disability benefit, even if it sounds a little bit exciting, I wouldn't get your hopes up too quickly, and let me show you what I'm talking about here. I think it's going to be a little bit frustrating for some people. Let's pull this up, and I'll start with the text, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. They say the pandemic has exposed many of the long-standing challenges persons with disabilities face, including an increased risk of poverty. The Government of Canada has a number of programs and services in place that provide support to Canadians with disabilities, but these are often complex and can be difficult to navigate for users. To ensure all persons with disabilities have the support they need to overcome persistent barriers to full economic and social participation, the government is committed to bringing forward a new disability benefit. So far, so good. It sounds like they're bringing a disability benefit to help out these Canadians who are struggling with disabilities. But here's where it gets a little bit interesting. Let me zoom in so you can see that a little more clearly. They say here, Budget 2021 proposes to provide $11.9 million over 3 years, starting in 2021 to 2022, that year, to employment and social development. The reason they do like a year range there is because the fiscal year is actually from March to March, I believe. So it actually spans over 2 years, technically, that fiscal year. That's why they do the budget around April. And so that's $11.9 million to Employment and Social Development Canada, so funding for that agency, to undertake consultations to reform the eligibility process for federal disability programs and benefits. This will help maximize the reach of these programs and improve the lives of Canadians living with disabilities. This work would feed directly into the design of a new disability benefit. So again, they say new disability benefit over and over again here, but these are the key words you have to look out for. Undertake consultations. So that's code for we don't know what we're going to do yet. We're going to take a while to try to figure it out. We're going to talk to different organizations and advocacy groups to figure out what should a new disability benefit actually look like. And they continue here on the next page saying, in preparation for legislation, the government will undertake extensive consultations. This is another keyword that says we'll do it later with stakeholders on the design of the new benefit and engage with provinces and territories, which play a central role in providing support to many Canadians with disabilities. This is one of the big questions, right? Because provinces, they need to talk to provinces and territories because largely disability is the jurisdiction of provinces, right? You have the different provincial disability support programs, right? Every different province has a different sort of way that program works. So anytime the federal government is trying to step in to make changes to that, well, they have to do extensive consultations with the provinces to make sure that their systems work with the province's systems, right? So this means it could take a little while, and you'll hear me being a little bit critical of them saying extensive consultations. I'm sure that there are lots of different considerations that a government needs to take to push these into place and do it in the right way, and that's largely what they're trying to do here. But for many people with disabilities that are struggling right now, well, I imagine they wouldn't be too pleased to hear that there's probably no support coming in the short term. So when I read this in the actual budget, both for disability and for these senior supports, I thought, hey, I've got to bring this to everybody here on the channel who's probably concerned about some of these issues, right? We've heard a lot about these seniors supports in the news and in the House of Commons because they've been largely against that. The Bloc Québécois, also the NDP, Conservatives as well, in some cases, pushing towards more support for seniors and not making two different classes of seniors between 65 and 75 plus. So we've heard a lot about that, but there really hasn't been much talk in the news about this potential new disability benefit, and I can't blame the news for not bringing it up because it really doesn't seem like there's anything of substance inside of this budget delineating what that actually could be. What would that disability benefit look like? Well, the Liberal government doesn't know yet. They're just giving it a little bit of lip service, saying, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to make a committee to try to figure out how we're going to do this in the future, but no timelines, no further information other than that. And with all that said, I'm really curious on what you think about all of this. If you're a senior or you know a senior, feel free to send this video to someone else who may benefit from this information, and let me know down in the comments, what do you think of all this? Is it unfair that it's only 75 plus? Do you think it should be lowered, or are 75 plus year old seniors the ones that are really needing the support more so than that other group of slightly younger seniors? It's a really interesting debate that's going on right now. And same if you're someone who's struggling with a disability. What's the support like in your province? Has it been enough throughout the pandemic? Many people are falling through the cracks. What do you think of this potential new disability benefit? It's hard to form an opinion when there's not all that much information, but let me know what you think down in the description. And of course, if you haven't already done so, also down in the description, there's a link to the newly released Canadian Money Mastery Program, where I talk about everything that you should have been taught about money in high school, everything from investing to personal finance, earning more, spending less, and investing as much as you possibly can to take your wealth into your own hands. So check that out. You can get 50% off with coupon code LAUNCH if you're interested. And with all that said, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really hope this video has helped you out at least a little bit, and I will see you next time. This channel is supported by viewers like you. Thanks, channel members.